In the dead of night, I cough until my lungs are raw. I pull out a family photo. In the picture, my parents smile, holding hands with the fake heiress. I'm at the very edge, out of place. I faint from the pain. I send a message to my parents, but no one replies. I know that even if I die, no one will come to claim my body. As my consciousness blurs, I order after-death care on a service platform. The person contacts me. Give me the address. Any requests for how you want to die? No, I have my own way. But I accidentally mistook a hitman order for a dignified funeral service. I just never expected the hitman to be the person I'd been longing for. As the real heiress who was finally found, I still couldn't enter my own home. The pain of terminal cancer spread throughout the house, making even going out to buy painkillers a luxury. The messages I sent to my family vanished without a trace. I knew that even if I died here, no one would come to claim my body. Clutching at the small hope for a dignified end, I wanted to find a funeral company to handle my remains. In my hazy consciousness, I found a website and clicked on the assisted ending service. I used all my strength to type, "Request after death care." It was almost dawn. A cold male voice called, "Give me the address. Do you need photos to verify the order?" Because the pain was so intense, I didn't hear him clearly and replied, "No need, can you help me buy a box of painkillers?" The man was silent for a moment, then simply replied, "Okay. Actually, dying is always painful." Soon the doorbell rang. I forced myself to get up and open the door, then collapsed back onto the sofa. "Sit anywhere, after I take the medicine and feel a little better, I'll sign the contract." The man stood at the door for a while. The house was dark and cold. Just looking at him sent a shiver down my spine. He walked in and handed me the medicine. "Take it, I'll complete the task as soon as possible." I didn't even have the strength to lift my eyelids. "Can you pour me a glass of water first?" He paused for a few seconds, then went to pour me water and handed me the medicine. I swallowed it with difficulty, which relieved some of the pain. After a moment, I got up to find a pen to sign the contract and accidentally knocked over something on the table. Things scattered on the floor. I quickly turned on the light and started picking them up. "Sorry, I'll clean it up right away." I lowered my head and picked up the pieces, asking him, "Do you guys at the funeral home help with makeup, right? Could you make me look pretty? I don't want a pale face, put on some blush, and some lipstick too. I don't want to wear morning clothes. Can I change into my favorite dress and shoes?" The man looked surprised, bending down to pick up a piece of paper on the floor. "I won't let you die looking awful." I was overjoyed. "That's great. I want to leave beautifully." It was rare to have someone visit, so I seemed to be talking more. "If possible, I'll pay you extra to put more flowers on me. I won't need the money anyway." "Oh, and please put this little bunny in with me." I pointed to a faded white bunny on the shelf. The man looked up and instantly froze. His gaze was filled with shock and disbelief. This time I saw him clearly. He was dressed in all black, with a black hat and mask. He was covered up tightly, but I could still see his eyes. When our eyes met, for some reason I felt a sense of familiarity. His eyes were full of astonishment, as if he had seen something unbelievable. "What's wrong? Am I scaring you?" I was terribly thin now and haggard, so I was probably quite frightening. No. The man's eyes welled up, and he quickly looked away. He suddenly went over and picked up the bunny, examining it. He muttered to himself, "As expected, it's gone." I was a little confused. "How do you know the bunny's tail is missing?" The man didn't speak, just stared at the bunny for a long time without moving. It was rare to have someone visit, so I suddenly wanted to say more, since I wouldn't have another chance. "My orphanage brother gave it to me. Because I always had nightmares, he gave me his only toy. Back then, I had a heart problem and he always took good care of me. We promised to be each other's family for life." But later, remembering my missing brother, I suddenly choked up. The man suddenly became tense. "Later what?" "Later, I received help from a kind person and had heart surgery, but my brother disappeared, leaving only this bunny." The man suddenly tensed up and abruptly turned away. He had his back to me, tightly clenching his fists, not knowing what he was thinking. The atmosphere suddenly became a bit oppressive. I immediately smiled and said, "Oh, let's sign the contract." But he didn't move, just turned around and asked me, "Is your name Clara?" I thought he wanted to confirm my name. "Yes, it's me." The man suddenly clenched the form in his hand. "Do you know what kind of order you placed?" I tilted my head and replied, "Of course, a complete funeral service." He seemed a little angry. Even his breathing became heavy. I didn't understand his reaction and prepared to sign the contract. "Let's start signing." Just as I finished speaking, my phone rang. It was Mom. I was a little delighted. This was the first time she had proactively called me. "Clara, what trick are you trying to play now? Sending this kind of message in the middle of the night, deliberately bringing bad luck, aren't you?" Before I could even say Mom, her scolding had already shattered my words. Just as I was about to explain, my brother's dissatisfied voice came through. "It must be that. Otherwise she's just using her illness as an excuse to make us rush over in the middle of the night again. How many times are you going to tell these kinds of lies to exhaust our feelings of guilt? You're really too much." He roared hysterically into the phone, pushing back all the words I wanted to say. Then came Dad. "It was our fault that we lost you when you were little, but after you came back, we gave you money and a house to compensate you, so don't cause any more trouble. Look at Victoria. When has she ever acted like you? We wouldn't have called if she hadn't been worried about you." Victoria's small voice sounded. "Don't talk about sister like that. What if she's really sick?" Mom instantly became angry. "She's accumulated lies and bad habits. Don't speak up for her. What good things could she have learned in a place like that when she was little? Compared to you, she's not even worth a hair." Their scolding exploded in the empty house. No one gave me a chance to speak, and I didn't want to explain anymore. Because no one would listen, and no one wanted to listen. Finally, my brother reluctantly reminded me, "Tomorrow is Victoria's birthday banquet. Remember to come, and don't cause any more trouble. Last time everyone was unhappy because of the trouble you caused. This time Victoria forgave you first and asked us to invite you. If you cause trouble this time too, I'll pretend I don't have a sister like you." His words were like fish bones stuck in my throat, making me speechless and miserable for a long time. The first year I returned to the Shen family, they also threw me a birthday party. But Victoria suddenly said she had a stomach ache, and the whole family rushed her to the hospital, where they stayed all night. I guarded the cake alone until late at night, finally falling asleep at the table. When they came back at dawn, I happily went up to them. "Mom, can we blow out the candles together now?" My brother came up and pushed me away. "Victoria is sick. Who has the mood to eat cake?" He threw the cake directly into the trash. "Eat, eat. All you know how to do is eat, and you still want to eat." I looked at the beautiful cake in the trash can, and my stomach grumbled uncooperatively. In the mountains, in the orphanage, cake was something I could only imagine. Suddenly a stinging sensation flooded my nose, but I could only clench my clothes and forcefully suppress it. The second birthday. Victoria leaned in and told me, "Mom, Dad, and brother are all mine, you can't take them away." She quickly shoved the necklace that Mom had given her into my hand. Before I could react, she tumbled down the stairs. Mom and brother screamed and rushed to her. Dad came up and slapped me. My whole head was buzzing. "Clara, you're going too far. Didn't we already buy it for you? Why did you have to snatch Victoria's?" I covered my burning face and said nothing. Before me were only Dad's jungning face, Mom's angry scolding, and my brother's shoving. In the third year, they said they were taking Victoria to summer camp, gave me money, and told me to buy whatever I wanted. But Victoria graciously invited me to her birthday party, and something happened to her again. Because the gift I gave her caused an allergic reaction, they said I was malicious. Worried that I would harm her again, they abandoned me here. Except for the on-time living expenses, no one came anymore. In their words, giving me money and a house was already the height of benevolence. But Mom, I'm a person. Not a cat or a dog. Giving food and drink is not enough. I also want Mom and Dad's favoritism. I also want brother's pampering. And I want the care of a family even more. The phone slammed shut, and the beeping sound made my chest ache terribly. The swelling sourness made my nose uncomfortable, and I clenched my palms tightly. Using all my strength, I bit my lip tightly, holding back the tears. Suddenly, a tissue was extended beside me. He handed it over. I didn't take it, and after a moment I raised my face. Thank you, I'm not crying. For some reason, his eyes were red, and a hint of anger permeated the surroundings. The man suddenly spoke. Don't they know you're sick? Only then did I notice that he was holding my terminal cancer diagnosis in his hand. Looks like he already knew. I shrugged. No, please keep it a secret for me. Why don't you tell them? He was a little agitated. It's not that I didn't want to say it, I said it countless times. No one cared, no one believed it. You just heard it, the answer is in there, and there's no cure, I don't want to bother. The man's diagnosis report was crumpled in his hand, the veins on his neck popping out. I can't take this order, find someone else. He turned to leave, and I immediately called out to him. Why? I can add money. I don't believe he wouldn't be tempted by more money. Doesn't everyone love money? For example, they all say I love money, I'm greedy for money. So they say people like me don't deserve to be loved. The man turned his back to me and responded coldly. I don't take orders from dying people. If it can't be cured, then go eat well, see the world. I think your brother definitely doesn't want to see you like this. Didn't they give you money? Spend it all, don't leave it to anyone. What he said made some sense, but I still need someone to collect my corpse. Then can you wait a few days? I'm about to die, then come and collect my corpse. For some reason, the man's back instantly tensed, as if he was very angry. He slammed the door and left, leaving me alone in the cold room again. I didn't cancel the order. After I die I will fill in his contact information. He should come and collect my corpse. Who would take money and not do the job? I think he should be a reliable person. After all, he just bought me painkillers. Relying on the painkillers he bought, I managed to get through another day. Worried that my appearance would scare people, I put on exquisite makeup for myself. Wearing a wig, I went to the birthday party they were throwing for Victoria. I arrived outside the private room. The door was ajar, they were all around Victoria, having a great time. I smoothed out my dress, tried to squeeze out a smile, and pushed the door open. The laughter in the private room stopped abruptly. They probably didn't expect me to actually come. I walked over and gave the gift to Mom. This is my gift, open it when you get home. Victoria was a little surprised that the gift wasn't handed to her directly. She picked up a glass of wine and came over. Thank you, sister, for coming to my birthday, let's have a drink. I looked at the glass of wine, and my stomach clenched involuntarily. The day I was diagnosed, I met Victoria in the hospital. She came over to mock me. Sister, why are you coming to the hospital alone? Did you tell Mom and Dad and brother? I clutched the form. Not wanting to pay attention to her, she grabbed me. Clara, I'm talking to you, did you hear me? I didn't hear, because I can only understand human language. I pushed her away forcefully. But because I was too weak, I almost fell, and the form in my hand also fell. She immediately became angry. Clara, who are you putting on this weak, dying act for? Mom and Dad and brother? Too bad, they can't see it, and they don't want to see it. I ignored her, just wanting to quickly pick up the form on the ground. Victoria immediately went to grab it, and I directly pounced on it and snatched it away. But she still saw some of the words. Stomach CT? Clara, you don't have stomach cancer, do you? She was very loud, full of sarcasm and smugness. I clenched the form tightly but couldn't say the truth, because I knew no one would care. And no one needs to care anymore. For the past 5 years, no matter what illness it was, they only thought it was my way of gaining sympathy. The family I once longed for so much. I no longer long for so much. Call me weak, but I just didn't want to bother trying to fight anymore. I'm afraid it won't be as you wish, it's just ordinary stomach illness. I clutched the form and turned to leave. Now seeing the wine, that cramping feeling surged into my heart. I picked up a glass of juice. I can't drink alcohol, I'll replace it with juice. Victoria was a little embarrassed. It's okay, sister, if you don't want to drink with me, I'll drink it myself first. She drank it all in one gulp, but I didn't move. Dad's face instantly darkened. She's giving you face by drinking with you, don't be ungrateful. I looked at Dad in disappointment. My stomach is not feeling well. Brother got up coldly. Want to fake illness and act pitiful again? Victoria is weak, but she drank it. Mom handed the wine to me. If you still want to call me Mom, Drink this wine. Brother reminded me. I said, if you make Victoria unhappy again today, I won't acknowledge you as my sister. I stared at the glass of wine for a long time, then suddenly laughed. In the mountains, I was beaten half to death for running away and still didn't give up wanting to go home. But at this moment, the family I was constantly thinking about was right in front of me, but there was only endless disappointment. My heart seemed to have been broken open with a big hole, and the cold wind passed through the wound. What was that feeling? Cold, bitter, painful, numb. I poured myself 3 glasses of wine. The first glass, Mom and Dad, this glass of wine is to honor your kindness in raising me. The second glass, Brother, to honor you once calling me sister. The third glass, from now on, I have nothing to do with you. After 3 glasses of wine, my stomach was churning, and a stinging pain spread throughout my body. I pinched my palms tightly in pain, preparing to leave. But as soon as the words fell, a mouthful of blood gushed out of my throat, spitting in front of everyone. The blood stained the ground red and also dirtied Victoria's dress. Mom immediately protected Victoria behind her. What are you doing? I asked you to drink wine. You're putting on this act. Victoria's dress was custom-made. You ruined it like this. You deliberately came here to cause trouble, didn't you? I covered my mouth, desperately trying to swallow the remaining blood, but the blood kept gushing out, dripping from between my fingers, flowing down like water. My father scolded sharply. Clara, look what you've done. You've ruined a perfectly good birthday party. I told you not to let her come. Nothing good ever comes of it. She's so unlucky. They hurriedly pulled Victoria away, all distancing themselves from me. My brother even pushed me away. Go away. I don't have a sister like you. What are you still doing here? Since you said you wouldn't bother us anymore, then don't ever show your face again. With his push, I fell backward unexpectedly, right toward a decorative glass panel in the booth. I knew very well what the result of falling against it would be, but my body was out of control. Stomach cramps were making it so I could barely hear the scolding. I felt my consciousness blurring, and even my body felt light. It's okay, Mom, Dad, Brother. I really won't be at any more birthday parties after this. No one will disturb your family of 3. I wonder how much it will hurt in a moment. I don't know. But I'm afraid I'll have to trouble you to collect my body. I just really miss my brother. Where is he? Suddenly, someone rushed over and caught me. I didn't know who it was. But I didn't fall on the glass. I fell into the other person's arms. He picked me up and ran outside, but my father stopped him. Who are you? What are you doing in here? The person holding me didn't speak, just stopped and turned to look at them for a few seconds. His dark eyes were filled with murderous intent, daring no one to meet his gaze. The surroundings instantly quieted down. No one dared to speak. A few seconds later, he tried to leave again, holding me in his arms. Stop. Who told you to take my daughter away? My father rushed over, trying to pull me from the man's arms. But he didn't know that the man had already clenched his fists. Get out of the way. She's my daughter. You're the one who should get out of the way. The man retorted coldly. You still know she's your daughter? Is this how you treat her? His words made my mother instantly furious. What nonsense are you spouting? You have no right to judge us. The man roared angrily. Based on the fact that she's spitting up so much blood, and none of you care about her, but instead you care about a trivial dress. He thought this would make them realize I was sick, but no one would believe it. Sure enough, my brother stood up and sneered. Is he a plant you hired? How much red prop drink did you drink to create this effect? He rushed up. Clara. Seriously, enough. You have to make a scene every time, don't you? Now you're still pretending to be unconscious. You ruined Victoria's birthday party today. You better apologize right now. Otherwise, we'll never forgive you. My brother came up to try to snatch me from the man's arms, but he was kicked away before he could even get close. You're the ones who should apologize, not her. He was very angry and he held me tighter. Seeing this, Victoria immediately said, Sister, I know you don't like me, but you're overacting today. I invited you here out of goodwill, because I thought that after we grew up, we could get along better. The man instantly scolded. Shut up. Say another word, and I'll make sure you can never open your mouth again. My mother angrily stepped forward to stop him. She can't leave. She has to apologize today, otherwise, we'll pretend we never had a daughter like you. In my blurred state of consciousness, I heard that very clearly. If being born and raised is a debt one can never repay, then mine is already paid off. I struggled to open my eyelids. Take me away. Okay. He kicked my father and brother away, and overturned the entire table. Victoria's white dress was instantly covered in soup. I was weak since I was little, and I always felt cold. The woman in the mountains said I was worthless trash. She bought me because she didn't have enough money to buy a son. The money was only enough to buy me. Because I was cheap, she didn't treat me like a human being. I only had enough to eat sometimes. Even my clothes were hand-me-downs. So cold and hunger were commonplace to me. But it didn't matter. I believed I would always go home. Later, their family was buried in a mine, and I was sent to an orphanage. In the orphanage, I met a boy named Julian, who was older than me. We both always liked to sit at the door, gazing at the gate, hoping that our parents would find us and take us home. And we agreed that if no one came to find us, we would be each other's only family. But because of my heart condition, my birth parents didn't come, and no one adopted me either. Julian gave me his little rabbit and told me, "When I'm not here, let it stay with you, so you won't be lonely." I hugged the rabbit and called him brother. He touched my head and smiled. "Good girl, little sister." But later, my brother suddenly disappeared without a word. Kind people sponsored my surgery, and my birth parents came to take me back. I thought I would have all kinds of warmth when I returned to my real parents. But why does it seem even colder here? The surroundings were icy and dark. Just as I seemed to be sinking into a black lake, a pair of hands pulled me out, holding me tightly in his arms. "Hang in there, the hospital is almost here." I felt warmth for the first time, in a strange and familiar embrace. "I'm so sleepy, I really want to sleep." Actually, it wouldn't be painful if I just fell asleep like this. It won't hurt, right? When I woke up again, I was in the hospital. Next to me was the undertaker from the funeral home last night. I struggled to sit up. "Did you bring me here yesterday?" He was wearing black clothes, still wearing a mask. Seeing that I woke up, he immediately got up and poured me a glass of hot water. "Thank you. How were you there?" The man sat down again, executing a mission. I was a little surprised. "You also go to hotels to collect bodies? Your work is really extensive. But thank you anyway." The man looked up at me, his eyes complex. His eyes always felt familiar, and as I looked, I realized that he seemed to have red eyes. Emotions surged beneath his dark eyes, and he suddenly explained, "Actually, I'm not from the funeral home." I was slightly stunned, but not surprised. "A side job? It's okay, I won't report you." He became very emotional, got up and closed the door, and told me to open my phone and click on a website. "Look carefully, I'm an assassin. I only kill people, I don't collect bodies." The hand holding my water glass suddenly froze. It really was the assassin's dark web. His photo was on it, but it was blurred. It also showed the number of people he had killed, or in other words, his record. I swallowed. I ordered the wrong thing. See it clearly? If you see it clearly, cancel the order. Don't affect my reputation. He came to me because he wanted me to cancel the order. In my nervousness and panic, I took another sip of water. "Why don't you just take a side job?" He was a little angry and held the phone in front of me. "Enter the password, cancel the order." I didn't listen to him and continued to nag. Working in funerals might be better than being an assassin. Anyway, you're dealing with dead people, but it's not as dangerous. And your profession is really bad. Your family will worry about you every day, and you'll get hurt. But if you change your profession, not only you, but also your family won't have any extra worries. I also heard that the salary in the funeral home is very high. It's not like people die every day. This job is much easier than killing people. He suddenly tightened his grip on the phone, and even his breathing became disordered. "I don't have any family, your worries are unnecessary." I suddenly looked at him. Beneath his cold eyes were layers of sadness. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to." He didn't say anything, just held up his phone, and we remained in a stalemate for a long time. I was tired and finally lay down. "I can cancel. But can you tell me your story? It's been a long time since someone talked to me. Don't worry, I'll keep it a secret for you. If I leak it, you can come and take my life, okay? You wouldn't want your #1 assassin ranking to be snatched by someone else, would you? In his record, there was no one he couldn't kill. And no one who could threaten him. But now, the hand holding the phone was lowered. He was silent for a long time, then finally spoke. I also have a younger sister, but I abandoned her because of selfishness, causing her to live a very hard life alone. I knew she was unhappy, that she was suffering, but I couldn't bring myself to acknowledge her, watching helplessly as she was bullied and lived in pain. So, I'm a failed brother, a coward. I don't even deserve to hear her call me brother again. His voice was no longer just cold, but also filled with sadness and helplessness. That feeling of powerlessness, of fate being unchangeable, radiated from him, and made me feel deeply uncomfortable. If I could, I wouldn't have left no matter what. I wouldn't have abandoned her no matter what. No matter what happened, I would have stayed with her, and I would never have let anyone bully her, even if it meant living an ordinary life together. His voice choked, and he turned his face away, not turning back for a long time. Looking at his slightly trembling back, my nose instantly felt sore, and my eyes stung. For some reason, at that moment, I felt he was very much like my brother Julian. I calmed my emotions. You must have your own difficulties. If your sister knew, she wouldn't blame you. He suddenly turned around, his eyes red, staring at me. Even if she forgives me, I won't forgive myself. That look full of sadness made my heart feel unbearably heavy. It instantly shattered my defenses. My brother Julian was also such a kind person. But I don't know where he is now, how much I want to see him again. I was afraid that I couldn't help but break down and cry. I really miss my brother Julian so much every day. Finally, I canceled the order and let him go. You can go, I'll reorder. If your sister knew, she would hope you could change careers. Have you considered it? He turned his face away again, seeming to have difficulty controlling his emotions, and rushed out the door. Looks like I'll have to place a real funeral service order. Just as I picked up my phone, my parents rushed into the hospital room. Seeing me lying in the hospital bed, my mother was the first to speak. Clara, I knew you were faking it. You even had the neighborhood committee come and tell us that you were sick, that you had stomach cancer. You're so capable now, taking the money I give you, and being able to do anything. Finding actors everywhere to act with you. She looked at me as if I were a heinous criminal, unforgivable. I knew you were doing it on purpose, and you really went to great lengths, hiring someone to beat up your father and brother. My father's black face was stretched out long, his expression distorted. I'm telling you, I've already reported the person you hired to the police. He dared to hit me. I will never let him go. You tell him to wait for me. My brother pushed past my parents. What's the point of talking to her? Even if you sincerely apologize to Victoria, I won't acknowledge her as my sister. If it wasn't for the neighborhood committee, I wouldn't have come here. All you do all day is pretend to be sick. It's really bad luck. He wrinkled his nose in disgust. The smell of disinfectant in the room probably wasn't pleasant. I put down the phone I hadn't ordered with yet and looked at them. I won't apologize, and I don't need your forgiveness. After those 3 toasts yesterday, the friendship between us is gone. My mother trembled with anger. You're just stubborn. I gave birth to you. I have the final say. My body and hair are received from my parents, but I've already returned them to you. Now I have the final say. My mother's blood pressure soared, and my brother grabbed her. Mom, haven't you had enough anger? Since she wants to sever ties with us, then let's sever them. Victoria will take good care of you. Victoria also rushed in. Don't sever ties with my sister. I'm the one who's extra. I'll just leave. My brother pulled her back. You've been my sister since I was little. I won't acknowledge anyone else. My parents went to comfort the crying Victoria, making quite a scene in my hospital room. How interesting. This family are all such good actors. No wonder they can live together. All right, stop disturbing me from resting. Hey, the agreement to sever ties is in your pocket, right? Take it out, sign it now, and then leave. The room fell silent. No one spoke. Finally, my mother glanced at my father and he took it out. You said it yourself yesterday, it wasn't us who brought it up first. I couldn't be bothered to figure out who said it, and took it over and signed my name. Then I handed it to them. Go, actually, I don't want to see you anymore either, especially Victoria. I don't want to explain anything like others do, and I don't expect any change of heart. Whether they'll regret it or be sad when they know the truth. And cry and be remorseful, I haven't thought about any of that. Because that's useless to me. Things that come late are worthless. Now I just want to die quietly. Victoria's face stiffened instantly, and she looked at her parents for help. Before they could speak, I spoke again. What are you looking at? You won, congratulations. But I really find it strange, you have so many tricks up your sleeve, so why are you such a bad student? I suggest you put your mind on the right path in the future, otherwise, no one will protect you when you enter society. I coughed uncomfortably. Look at me, I'm really worrying too much. Seriously, I really don't like you. My brother was like a ruffled rooster, and I immediately pointed at him. And you're louder than a rooster. You bark like a dog all day long, and you're so blind, you'll be stuck with your sister for the rest of your life. I'm worried, once she becomes a social climber, she'll get beaten up by society. Then you'll have to help her take the beatings. My brother's face contorted with anger, and my father grabbed him, about to come forward. I reached out to stop him. Old man, we're not related anymore, watch your behavior. If you dare touch me again, I'll call the police. It's fine to leave a record of assaulting a patient. Finally, I advise you two old folks to go home and check things out, so you don't get your house stolen and still be protecting others here. After saying that, I quickly covered my mouth. Oh, my mouth. Why do I say so much when I open my mouth? Nurse, I want to sleep. Can you kick them out? It's too noisy. The whole family was so angry that they hadn't even started to refute before they were kicked out by the nurse. I lay down with my back to the door, looking at the autumn sky outside the window for a long time. The leaves were yellow, slowly separating from the branches, falling slowly. Yes, a season of withering. Just like my life. In the afternoon, the doctor issued another critical condition notice. You should notify your family as soon as possible. Do what you want to do. Eat what you can eat. Holding the results of my last test, I replied calmly, "Thank you, please help me check out of the hospital." The doctor was stunned for several seconds, but could only do as I asked. Back home, I lay on the bed and fell into a deep sleep. When I woke up in pain again in the middle of the night, I got up to look for painkillers, stumbling out of bed. Before I even reached the living room, I fell directly to the ground. I felt like I had been shattered, and lost consciousness for a long time. I don't know how long it was before I felt like I had gotten up from the ground. Then I was placed back in soft blankets, and I forced myself to open my eyes. The first thing I saw was him, Jax. This was the name I saw on the app. He didn't tell me his real name. Jax was holding water and medicine, helping me up and feeding it to me. I smelled the faint scent of blood on him and struggled to speak. You just finished a mission. Jax didn't say anything, but helped me clean up the blood I vomited on the floor. I knew he was listening, and I started to talk a lot again. Are you hurt? Will you be found out? Is it dangerous? Before you did this, what did you dream of doing for work? What kind of person did you want to be? His hand that was squatting on the floor paused, as if my words had struck a chord. But it only lasted a few seconds, and he continued to ignore me. No matter what I said, he just silently worked, cleaning the house. Finally, he went into the kitchen and cooked for me. His skills were pretty good, and I forced myself to eat some. Why did you come back? Or, just take over this job of mine. You don't even have to do anything yourself. He suddenly became a little agitated. Don't talk so much when you're this sick. As expected, he disliked me talking too much. I didn't listen to him and kept chattering. If I don't say it now, I think I really won't have another chance. He saw the cat toy on my cabinet. Where's your cat? You mean that? I bought it to play with. I was too lonely by myself at first, so I thought about buying a cat to keep me company. But I was worried that after I leave, no one would take care of it. Since we're destined to part, then let's not even start. Because I think if we're destined to leave, where will all the feelings we develop together go? Jax froze in place again, not moving for a long time. In that instant, he felt so uncomfortable he couldn't breathe. For some reason, He suddenly turned his face away again. I don't have any assignments recently. I can take on a side job. I was a little excited. So can you take over this job of mine? I'll pay extra. Can you take me to the seaside? I heard the seaside is very vast, and the sky is very blue. I want to see it. He suddenly spoke in a hoarse, trembling voice. Okay, I'll take you wherever you want to go. He changed his clothes, no longer wearing black. But he always wore a hat and a mask, never showing his face in front of me. I was a little curious. Why do you always wear a mask? He turned his face away, not explaining. I knew he didn't like to talk, so I didn't press the matter. He took me to the seaside and rented a place for a week. On the first day, he bought me a cake. I excitedly lit the candles, made a wish, and blew them out. What did you wish for? This was the first time he had taken the initiative to speak. I can't tell you. It won't come true if I say it. Let's eat the cake. Can you put a little on my nose and face? He was surprised for a few seconds, then scooped up some cream and smeared it on my face. After returning home, countless cakes were in front of me, but I never ate any. But every time I saw other people smear it on each other, I realized it was a blessing. I ate a little. It was really sweet. It was actually such a delicious food. But not long after eating it, I suddenly felt very sick. I couldn't hold it in, and I threw up everything. Cream and blood poured out. He was so frightened that he quickly carried me to the clinic. The doctor scolded him. She can't eat these things at all right now. How are you taking care of your sister? Didn't your parents even tell you this basic knowledge? It's ridiculous. He didn't say anything, just nodded repeatedly. His head was lowered very low, and a sad feeling enveloped his back, filled with self-reproach. One night he asked me, "Do you have any wishes that haven't come true?" I was silent for a long time, then looked up at him. I miss my Julian Gidge. He stood there blankly for a long time, as if he was breaking apart. Because after returning to the Shen family, I tried to find Julian Gidge. I went to the orphanage to inquire, but there was no news about him. I've been back in the Shen family for 8 years, and I've been looking for him for 8 years. For 8 years, I've always been expecting that one day he would suddenly appear in front of me. Tell me, Clara, be good, brother is back. But for 8 years, there has been no news about him. I knew this question was difficult, very difficult. Forget it. I know this wish is very difficult. After all, I've been looking for him for 8 years and there's no news about him. Maybe no news is good news. As long as he's still alive in this world, he must be thinking of me somewhere. I looked at the dark night sky for a long time, not noticing at all that the person next to me was already sobbing silently. He was sitting behind me and I couldn't see his emotions, but I felt that he seemed very sad. Maybe he was also thinking about his sister. In the last few days, he was very busy every day because I was a lot of trouble. Besides being pitifully quiet, he took good care of me. No matter what I said, wanted or did, he would fulfill it. One day I woke up feeling particularly clear-headed. "Can you take me to see the sunrise?" Without saying a word, he took a thick blanket and carried me on his back to the rocks. "I heard you can see the first rays of sunlight here." "Really? Then I have to keep a good watch." He wrapped me up in the blanket, and I leaned weakly against him. "Can you tell me about your childhood stories?" That should be his best memory, even though they weren't relatives. But in his life they seemed like relatives, accompanying him through the best times of his life. He spoke in a hoarse voice. "Okay. Then you tell me. I'll listen with my eyes closed. You have to remind me when the sun comes out." He began to tell that story from the bottom of his heart, but for some reason, why was it so similar to my story? For a moment, I thought he was telling the story of me and Julian Gidge. I wanted to ask him, but I was too sleepy and tired. I don't know how long passed before Jack stopped. "Clara, the sun is coming out." But the person next to him no longer responded. Jax reached out and took off his mask. "Clara, I am Julian Gidge." The eye sockets under the mask were already bloodshot, and tears streamed down his face. But the person next to him could no longer hear him. Jax's perspective. I took Clara back and took care of her funeral. After taking care of these things, I became a deliverer man, and delivered the death certificate to the Shen family. When the Shin family received the death certificate, they didn't believe it at all. Isn't she done yet? Even if she really died, she broke off relations with us. Why send it over? Seeing the death certificate thrown on the ground, I angrily picked it up. Isn't she the one you carried in your womb for 10 months? You can give so much love to someone with no blood relation. Why can't you give her a little more? Shin's mother's expression immediately turned ugly. I also wanted to be good to her, but her heart was too bad. She was always trying to squeeze out Victoria and hurt her. This whole body of bad habits makes me feel disgusted. I'd rather not have such a daughter. I clenched the fist in my hand. You never properly investigated. You just pushed all the responsibility onto her. The older brother rushed out. Is there even a need to investigate? Victoria grew up with us since she was little. She wouldn't do those things. It's all because Clara was not satisfied and became jealous that she did those things. Victoria looked very wronged on the side. I know you're a hired actor that Clara found, but you can't just listen to her side of the story. Her hypocrisy in front of me made me feel disgusted. If it wasn't for the surveillance cameras in the daytime, I would have already strangled her. That's also true. You can't believe one person's story, but you can always believe two people's stories. As a professional assassin, I always have some black technology. It's not difficult to investigate anything. These are your medical records over the years. I've already investigated them. There hasn't been any problem with your body at all. Every time you were sick, you had Dr. Evans make a fake certificate. That Dr. Evans has already surrendered himself. There is also evidence of you framing Clara countless times. Let's listen to your recordings. I opened a video of her hanging out with friends. That fool Clara has finally been squeezed out by me. The Shin family only has one daughter now. Her cronies congratulated her. Looking at those three fools in that family, the Shin family will be yours sooner or later. Victoria drank a glass of wine and spoke her true feelings. They're really stupid. I just used a little trick, and they kicked Clara out, and they haven't cared about her for so many years. It's really cruel. When I pretend to be sick, they get so nervous they're about to die, but Clara is about to die, and they just refuse to believe it. But what's most important, do you guys know? To comfort me, they even broke off relations with her. Aren't this family stupid? Victoria's laughter echoed in front of the Shin family, like slaps on their faces. You ingrate. We treated you well, and you're so vicious. The enraged Mr. Senschauti, slapping Victoria. The blow made Victoria dizzy, and she fell to the ground. She immediately got up to defend herself. This isn't true, Clara hired them, Dad. She snatched the death certificate from my hand, trying to tear it up. This isn't real? It must be fake, she's faking it all. I wanted to kick her away, but a police car stopped at the door, and I immediately lowered the brim of my hat. The police picked up the death certificate from the ground and handed it to Mr. Shin. This is real. Clara has passed away and has already been cremated. The Shin family was instantly stunned by these words, and the air was suddenly silent. Mrs. Shin suddenly stepped forward and grabbed the police officer tightly. This isn't true. She was just yelling at me a few days ago. How could she be dead? The police officer was speechless. What do you take the law for? This can't be fate. Besides, she was diagnosed with stomach cancer half a year ago. Didn't any of you know? What kind of parents are you? The police officer held a stack of documents in his hand, which I had sent, containing all of Clara's medical records. Her medical records are all here. We've confirmed it with the doctor. It's all true. The older brother Brandon rushed out. Impossible. Victoria said it was just a stomach illness. How could it be stomach cancer? Did she have you all lie to us? The police officer directly shoved the documents into their hands. The documents are here. See for yourselves. But we're here today for another matter. We need Victoria to come with us. The police officer took out an arrest warrant. She used money to pay off her biological parents' gambling debts, a huge amount, and participated in illegal money laundering. Oh, and Mark Dawson, this involves you too. Some of the money was transferred from your account. Your company account has multiple transfers. The data is massive, reaching the standards for sentencing. Come with us. Mr. and Mrs. Shin froze again. They didn't expect that they had treated Victoria so well, yet she used the money to subsidize her own parents. Immediately, they stepped forward and slapped her again. "You ingrate, how could you do this to us? We've treated you like our own daughter all these years. Not only did you steal from the family, but you also framed Clara, causing her to be driven out." Victoria's face was slapped from side to side until her mouth bled. Seeing that things had been exposed, she stopped pretending. "That's right, I planned it all. So what? It's because you were stupid. You'd rather listen to me than her. I did know Clara was going to die. I was so happy then, hoping she would die sooner. I didn't expect her to die so quickly, but her death isn't my fault. You are the culprits." Everyone was stunned. She confessed to all the things she had done, admitting everything. She knew she would be abandoned by the Shin family and wouldn't have a good ending. But she wanted to make sure they wouldn't have it easy either. "It's all your fault. You're the ones who killed her. But now you don't even have a chance to regret it. Ha 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 ha. Should I tell you how you pushed her to her death step by step?" Victoria raised her face. "The first year for my birthday, I pretended to have a stomach ache, and you left her to be with me, and threw away her cake. I saw how sad she was at the time. The second year, I pretended to fall down the stairs. The third year, I touched something I was allergic to myself. Later, all sorts of framing worked every time. It's not that I'm so clever, it's you're stupid." Your favoritism completely broke her heart. Victoria looked at Mrs. Shin. "You know what? She said she missed her mother so much, wanted you to hug her countless times, but you didn't. And you, brother. She said she longed for her brother to acknowledge her, but you didn't either. None of you did. Ha ha ha, it's you abandoned her the first time, and abandoned her again after finding her. Even if you raise a cat or a dog, you have to take care of it carefully, but you didn't. You just left her there for 5 years without anyone going to see her." Her words were true. They had pushed Clara into the abyss of despair little by little, abandoning her again and again, wounding her beyond repair. Mrs. Shin broke down and cried. "It's all my fault, it's all my fault. I'm so sorry to Clara." She could have stopped and listened to her explanation, could have given her a little more love, but she didn't. So many scoldings, so many reproaches, so much ignoring, how sad she must have been. Mrs. Shin couldn't imagine how Clara survived in her final moments. She remembered that day. She clearly said she couldn't drink and shouldn't be drinking, but everyone forced her to drink. That spicy alcohol burned her stomach. How much pain she must have been in. Mrs. Shin immediately stepped forward and grabbed me. "Where is Clara's grave? Take me there." I forcefully pushed her away. "You're not worthy to see her. She doesn't want to see any of you." Victoria laughed madly. "See, you don't even have a chance to regret it, while I will still have a wonderful life." Mrs. Shin suddenly looked at her. "No, you won't. Why should you have a wonderful life? You have to go down and be buried with Clara. You have to apologize to Clara." Mrs. Shin suddenly stood up, hugged Victoria, and rushed towards the window, jumping down. "Clara, Mom is sorry." They both fell to their deaths on the lawn below. Mr. Shin completely lost his mind, screaming and rushing downstairs. "Clara, it's all Dad's fault. Dad's coming to find you." He rushed into the crowd incoherently. The police chased after him. "Stop him. There's a road ahead." He couldn't hear anything. "I want to find Clara. Dad will kowtow to you and apologize." But before the police could catch up, a car came rushing in and knocked him away. He fell in a pool of blood, without even struggling. The crowd was in a panic, and all the police rushed over. Upstairs, only the older brother, Brandon, was kneeling on the ground. "How could this happen? Clara, your brother was wrong." He got up, came over, and grabbed my clothes tightly. "You must know where Clara is buried, right? Tell me." I kicked him away, and he twisted in pain and lay on the ground, still asking me, "Tell me, where is my sister?" Clara told me that after I left, she was unhappy for a long time. But when her biological parents came, they brought Brandon, and she was really happy. Because she had another brother, she thought this brother would love and spoil her. But no, Brandon gave all his favoritism to Victoria. I stepped forward and grabbed his collar fiercely. "You don't deserve to call her sister, because you don't deserve to be her brother. She once had high hopes for you. But what about you? You hurt her again and again. Remembering the words he had said to Clara, Brandon was filled with remorse. He could have treated her equally, but he listened to Victoria and personally pushed his own sister into the depths of despair. Those lonely days, those moments of pain, those moments of disappointment. Brandon couldn't imagine how Clara had spent them. He looked at me in despair. I don't deserve it. I don't even deserve to ask for her forgiveness. But tell me where her grave is. I want to repent. It's too late. The blade flashed, and blood instantly flowed from Brandon's eyes. His Achilles tendons were severed, and the pain made him unable to make a sound. You don't deserve her forgiveness. You can never understand the pain she went through. But I won't let you die so quickly. Just live in regret forever. Brandon was blind and crawled desperately on the ground. I want to find Clara. Clara, your brother was wrong. No one but me knew where Clara was buried.